mistaken for the manager. I just found this subreddit today and I'm laughing my ass off. This happened 2 years ago and I was in Washington DC, about 21 at the time. And I had to give a speech at one of the government buildings, so I walked out in a suit from my hotel room. And as I made my way down to the main lobby there was this blonde lady that grabbed my arm. I turned around and asked her what's going on. She proceeds to tell me this: "I was looking for you. They told me you can waive my fee at the bar and I have the credit coupon for my mom." I then realized she thought I worked there and I tell her I didn't. It took her a moment to process this and asked again, "Aren't you the manager?" I told her I was not. Then she asked once more, "Are you sure?" I laughed at this point and told her I was not. I'm on my way to insert government building name here to give a speech and I could be running late. She then says, "OHH. I'm so sorry, you just looked like a manager or someone in that position." I laughed again and walked away. She wasn't a Karen, just a confused blonde lady, maybe a bit dumb IDK, and she wasn't rude either. But it was funny. Thought I'd share this story with you guys. Update. She wasn't the only person to confuse me for the manager that day. There was a Brazilian teacher on a field trip with his students that confused me for the manager too. Perhaps you just have resting manager face. The dead inside look. If you need my help, you can come back on Saturday. I've been lurking here for a while, and I recently remembered a story from years ago. Context: my grandfather ran a local light shop in rural Australia for nearly a decade. During my early high school years, I wasn't quite ready to be home without supervision, so I would spend my afternoons at the shop, doing homework and reading. I also worked there on Saturdays until we closed, and was on good terms with the two employees, and obviously with my grandfather and grandmother who also worked there on occasion. I'm also taller than all the other workers, so I often got lights up and down from the ceiling. The story: me/shop, me, E, employee, MG, grandfather, K, Karen. I had just finished a long day at school on a sweltering late summer day, so I went straight to the employee kitchen, where I spent time after school, but was stopped by E1, who needed help getting a light down for a lady who looked about 100. I said sure, getting the light down, and handing it over to E1. She thanked me, and for some reason, the 100-year-old lady handed me a $5 note. I tried to return it, but she refused, saying I reminded her of her own grandson, and that she thinks he even goes to my school. I was wearing my Catholic school uniform, which looks nothing like the work uniform the employees wore. This will be relevant later. I continued walking to the kitchen as I was almost into the employee-only area when a woman, around 40, Karen haircut before it was a thing, tapped me on the shoulder. I wheeled around and saw she was holding a rather expensive lamp, which I'd tagged myself last Saturday. It was worth a little under $500. "K, can you ring this up for me?" She started sounding pretty kind, but it got ugly quick. Me, "Sorry mom, I'm not war." K, cutting me off. "And can I get a discount? I could get this at competitor's store for half the price." Me, "Mom, if you need my help, I'm not available until Saturday." I then went to open the door again. That's when K grabbed my arm. "K, you lying little CT. This place is closed on Saturdays. It never was, or ever has been. I want a word with your boss." I poked my head through the half-open door and called out for my grandfather, calling him by the name I called him as my parents' parent, not his real name. He came out a few seconds later. "Milligrams. Hi op. Hi K." Apparently she was a regular. "What's the matter?" K, putting on her sweetest voice. "This kid is refusing to let me pay for my lamp. She's brandishing it like a weapon. I'll go somewhere else if your employees are gonna treat me like this." Milligrams. "Sorry K, but he's off work today. He's a student." He indicates to the uniform and bag I'm wearing. K, he helped that lady. She points in the general direction of where I pulled down the light, but E1 and the lady are now at the counter, out of the view of the three of us. Milligrams looks at where she's pointing, then at me, K's hand on my arm, then straight into K's soul. I've never seen him upset in my life, but he looks mad as hell. Milligrams. "K, if you're willing to come up the front with me, I can ring you up." K. No, you can't cover up for your crappy employees. He's totally capable. Milligrams. You're right, K. I can't cover up for bad service, but I can protect my grandson. He then wrenches her hand off my arm, took the lamp, gave it to me, and pointed to where it was before lightly pushing me in that direction. He then escorted her out the front door. That Saturday, beside the till was a list with banned customers written at the top. Karen's full name was written directly below. When the store closed last year, Karen was the only one on that list. Edit. I never saw her again, but she apparently returned once and was told she was permanently banned. She was so angry, she cracked the window in the front door on her way out. Pilot mistaken for baggage handler. I was a co-pilot with one of my favorite captains who happened to be black. We had just finished our day and were waiting at the airport curbside for our hotel pickup. A car pulled up, and this older woman with a beehive hair go out, looked at my captain in uniform and said, "Well, aren't you going to help get my luggage?" I was shocked, but he quickly did this little shuffle dance and took her luggage from the trunk, and next thing I see is him trailing her carrying her 3 pieces of luggage. He came back a few minutes later with a big smile. I walked her luggage to the American Airlines check-in counter. You should have seen the look on the agent. The passenger pulled $1 from her purse and attempted to tip me. I said, "No thanks. I'm a pilot for United Airlines. Next time I suggest you fly United." I don't think American pilots are as generous. As an occasionally angry black person, I don't think I could have ever been so gracious. Occasionally angry white dude here. I would have told her to go fuck herself. Occasionally angry human here. Fuck everything. Convenience store confusion. Went to the corner store to get a fountain pop. Some guy was trying to get a slushie, but the machine wasn't working. Right, so he dumped his cup and turns and asked if he would be charged for the empty used cup. I ignored it and continued getting my stuff, and he turns directly to me and asks again. I just go, "Oh, I don't know, man. I don't work here." Looks beyond me and sees the employee at the counter and just goes, "Oh man, 2 tall white guys. Oh shit." The slushy machine being out is throwing me off, goes up and pays for whatever he did get and left. I'm very tall, like NBA player tall, so being confused for somebody else by height is a new one for me. I don't work at this store, so I work for a retail giant where we wear blue vests as our uniform. Over the weekend I was shopping in a different store than the one I work at, but the same company. I was wearing a red hoodie and some jeans. This man stops me as I'm walking around killing time and asks if I work there. I tell him no, but I do work at a different location and joke that I must just have that face. I then ask what he needs, cause why not? I'm just killing time until I need to be somewhere. The man proceeds to yell at me that he can never find someone when he needs them and blah blah blah. Like, do you want my help or not? I'm literally trying to help you out of kindness. I'm not getting paid for this. Don't yell at me. On the way home. Years ago I had a job where my commute took me right by a Target, so I often had a buy list from the wife for the trip home. And I worked odd days and hours, so I could often shop at 10 AM. On one of these trips I started in the men's section looking for a new pair of pants. I'm looking at a stack of dress pants when a Target employee rolls up with a wagon full of pants. She casually says to me, "Put the jeans over in the wall shelves." I was nonplussed. What? She was organizing other pants, but said, "You heard me. Get these jeans over to the wall shelves and sort them by size." I'm gobsmacked. No, do your own job. She puts a pile of pants down. "Look, buddy, who do you work for?" I'm about to get mad when the light dawns. I just happened to be wearing a pair of khaki pants and a red polo, and I'm standing in profile to her. I look just like a Target employee and she can't see I'm not wearing a name tag. So I just smile, face her full on, and laughingly say, "I don't work for Target." She blushed bright red and started to apologize, but I was so tickled I thanked her. Another day where the animals go. This happened a couple weeks ago on a trip to my favorite big box pet store. I was going to get my weekly stack of food for my small zoo crew, and I was in the canned dog food aisle. I was wearing a black sweatshirt and jeans, and this guy came up to me as I was stacking cans in a cardboard flat I was carrying. He looked at me and asked, do you guys carry Rachel Ray food? I looked at him for a moment, wondering if he noticed my lack of name tag or identifiable work uniform, before I said, I don't work here bud, sorry. He took another look at me before giving an apology and walked off. Just another day buying pet food. I know people love to hear about a Karen or a Kevin, but none of that here. Just a guy getting bothered at the pet store. Glad it did not turn south. Nice little old lady. So I'm probably 5'9" and look dead like my mother, even though I'm a guy, and at the time I had extremely long hair, so how the lady thought that I worked there amazes me. OL equals old lady, M equals me. So I'm at the checkout with my mom in our local Walmart and my mom has to run off and get something, so I stay at checkout waiting for her to come back. When this old lady says something behind, at the time I had no idea she was behind. She gave me a start for sure. Oh, excuse me young man, do you know where the blankety blank is? M turns around. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you there. What did you say? Sorry, I couldn't hear you. Oh, I asked, do you know where blankety blank is? M. No ma'am, no I do not. Also I don't work here. At this point I can see my mom coming back. Oh, I'm so sorry, I thought you worked here. I'm sorry. M. No, it's okay. It's been about a year since that happened, and I still think about today. It brings a smile on my face, and I still get a laugh about it with my mom.